Good morning and welcome to Cindy's Kitchen. We're so excited that you're here today. If you're brand new, welcome. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to use, now you can use any kind of baking dish that you want. I'm using a round dish. It doesn't matter because it's going to sit in the middle. Yes, you're on lockdown until the 2nd of December. Oh, Anne, I'm so sorry. All right. So, I just have my round plate. I love this pattern. Doesn't that make you happy, all those hearts? Love it. Okay, I don't particularly need it, but I am just gonna give it a little spray with some cooking spray. And I'm gonna be using puff pastry. Once you snip off the top, you have 2 puff pastries. So, I'm all in for doubling up. Now, I'm gonna pull the first one off and set this aside. These are in the frozen food section, if you don't know. And then you keep them in the freezer, and then before you use them, you thaw them out. Has a little piece of paper we'll take away. Now, let me just say that it's an okay size for me, but if you decide you want this a little bit bigger, you certainly could take your rolling pin, and you could give it a roll and make it just a little bit bigger. We start with our piece of puff pastry in a square, and then to that, we've got to figure out, our cheese is easy because it's Brie. Now, Brie can come in rounds, and so if you got a round, you certainly could use the whole round, but I might suggest cutting it in half. This, because it was on sale, is in a triangle shape, okay? So there's our, as you can see, our Brie. It's triangle shaped, and I paid $3.59 for this. If you've not made Brie before or watched us do this, you know that it has this white outer, not crust, but outer layer. This is totally edible. You do not have to peel or cut this off. You can leave it just as it is. So I'm gonna put it kind of at an angle. Now before I put my cheese down, I'm gonna go ahead and put my preserves. You can choose whatever you like, whatever flavors you like. Maybe it's something you already have in your refrigerator. I'm gonna use fig preserves because I think that fig flavor is lovely with the Brie. Okay, so you can certainly, if you were doing a circle or a square of Brie, you certainly could just put it in the middle. I'm gonna use probably 3 tablespoons of my fig preserves. Remember, I'm gonna lay mine out at an angle. So I'm just gonna, although it doesn't really matter, so I'm gonna spread this in the center, okay? You can see, yummy fig stuff. All right, I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna put my cheese right here. I find it makes it a lot easier. I have 1 egg that I've beaten. I'm gonna do just a little bit of an egg wash on the edges of this puff pastry dough. Now, again, you don't necessarily have to do this because we're gonna do an egg wash on the top, but I find that if I go ahead and take this step, it is less likely to kind of burst open. Dried cranberries, garlic and herb cream cheese. There are so many ways to use this recipe. And I really, that's why I said I want you to use what you have or what you like. All right, so easy to fold it over. Because I'm doing this at an angle, I'm gonna pull this up first. And then I'm just gonna go around the clock, okay? I'm gonna pull this one up and over. I'm gonna pull up our bottom. Pull up your bottom. And then I'm gonna come and pull up this last side. You wanna fold in because you don't want any of your lovely preserves to escape. Now, because I've done it this way, I can pull that over and that's what I've got, okay? Now you may say that's not so pretty, and okay, but I'm fine with it. If you're new, make sure you say hello and tell us what state or country you're from. We've almost got all the United States packed. Woo! Now, I'm gonna take my egg mixture and I'm gonna brush the top. You have an option here. You certainly, instead of an egg wash, you could do melted butter on the top. This only takes 10 minutes to cook because what you're doing is you're looking for the puff pastry to puff up and brown. And while that is happening, it's the right amount of time, your brie will start to melt inside, okay? So the brie will start to melt. All right, I've done this, and this is gonna go in a 350 degree, Jess, a 350 degree oven for about 10 minutes. Okay, so we have our brie doing, and that's cool because you could do blueberries or blueberry preserves. You could do anything you want, right? And you could do them savory. We've done savory ones. All right, for this, I'm gonna use my Arbob, my really big old bowl, okay? This is the artesian bowl. And so the reason I usually use the bowls that are not as deep and they kind of flare out. Those are the mixing bowls, the nesting bowls. This is the artesian bowl, and so it's deeper. And so I just don't want to make a mess, and so I'm gonna do that. Every Thanksgiving, my sister brings corn casserole. That's her thing, right? So that's one of the things that's all her is corn casserole. And so she doesn't even really think about the recipe anymore. So I thought what I would do is I'm gonna take her recipe and I'm gonna twist it up just a little bit. I'm gonna tell you how she makes it. You can certainly make it that way. And then I'm gonna do it myself a little different. Now, what to use, our baking dish. This is the baking dish that I'm gonna use. The original recipe says you need to use a 9x9. Interestingly enough, I didn't have a 9x9. So this is 10x8 basically. So I'm thinking 9x9, add 1, subtract 1, 10x8. So I'm using a 10x8. I will tell you, if you try to make this recipe in a 9x13, it will be thinner. It'll cook less time. You'll have to adjust and it'll be thinner, okay? This is more like a corn pudding, if you will. So it's supposed to be creamy. It's not supposed to taste like cornbread, right? Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. The easy thing with this is you start with a box of Jiffy a corn muffin mix, right? How easy is that? And quite frankly, as we get closer to the holidays, these go on sale a lot. All right, so we're just gonna dump that into our really big old bowl. We're gonna need 2 corns. This is just plain old golden corn, right? Corn nuggets, just plain corn that I drained. So in goes corn. You probably have corn in your pantry, don't you? All right. The second you may not have in your pantry, but easy, is a can of creamed corn. All right, this says sweet corn, but whatever. So creamed corn, in we go. Now to this, I gotta move stuff. We're gonna add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. All right, see? 4 tablespoons in my bowl, melted. In we go. Yum. 1 cup of sour cream. Now this is a 16 ouncer, so instead of measuring, I'm just gonna cut it in half. Look, I'm gonna go straight down the middle and take out half, and that's what I'm gonna put in. This recipe is interesting in that there's no milk and there's no eggs. So we're using sour cream. Let me get that from the bottom, and that gets our whole half in. There's our sour cream. All right, if you're new and you haven't said hello and told us what state you're from, make sure, or country, make sure you've done that. I'm gonna add cheese, okay? This is the Mexican blend cheese, okay? All right, so I'm gonna add, that's about a half a cup. I'm gonna add between a half a cup and a cup of shredded Mexican blend cheese. All right, so now I put cheese in it. Now you could stop right there. You could say, oh, Cindy, the casserole sounded good before, but now you've added cheese. You've made it so much better. But wait, there's more. So to this, I'm gonna add a can, and this is a 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. You're not. Okay, can of green chilies in, and then if we're using a Mexican blend cheese, and we've added a can of green chilies, we need a little spice, right? We need to season. So now, normal spices, salt and pepper, okay? And I'm just gonna do a pinch of each. A pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper, okay? Those are just your normal spices. To that, we're gonna add 2 others. We're gonna add, these are just my little containers, ground cumin and chili powder. And we're gonna add a teaspoon of each. All right, so here's my ground cumin. I'm gonna get a teaspoon of ground cumin. This is not my sister's casserole, right? All right, a teaspoon of ground cumin. And then this is the chili powder. A teaspoon of chili powder. Oh, yum. Jesse, check on the Brie. All right, let's give that a stir, shall we? Oh, yum. Cumin and chili powder smell so awesome, right? So awesome. Stir, stir, stir. All right, I'm gonna give this a spray. Ooh, pick up that big old bowl. Okay, in we go. Lovely flavors of ground cumin and chili powder, and the green chilies I can smell. So good. All right, I got all that in there. And then I'm gonna, okay, you know there's cheese in the bottom. I'm not losing any of the Mexican blend cheese. Yum. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna spread this out. There we go. All the way around. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. All right, so there we go. We're gonna put this in the oven, 350 degrees for somewhere between 50 minutes and an hour. It is gonna poof up, okay? So this is a 2-inch deep. I would not cook it if your pan is only in a 1-incher. I think you need at least 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, okay? But 2 is gonna be fine. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the oven and we're gonna check on our Brie. All right, so we're gonna have to wait just a little bit. I wanted to give you, because it's not brown yet, and it has to be brown, I'm just saying. Look, because I put the spray on there, it moves. La 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 la. All right, can you see? We've got a golden brown color on there, kind of hard to see. I'm gonna set it down. All right, so this is out, and we really should let it set, because here's what happens when you bake Brie in a puff pastry. The Brie, remember we left the white rind on the outside. We've put it in the oven at 400 degrees, which is a pretty high heat. So those of you who are always asking me if you can use your Polish pottery on a 400-degree oven, this is actually a unicat pattern. So not a cheap pattern, thank you very much. And obviously there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing you would need to be careful is don't go from cold to hot or hot to cold, right? So, but 400 degrees is fine. So what happens is we put that Brie in there and then we wrap the puff pastry all the way around it and sealed it in. When we put it in that 400-degree oven, what happens is that Brie inside starts, it's like it's in a sauna. And you know, like when you get in a hot tub or a sauna, you just kind of go, oh. And you kind of melt, right? Everything relaxes, all your cares go away, and you just, all your muscles just melt. Well, that's what the Brie is doing. The Brie is getting all comfortable and lovely and melting inside there. So when you take it out of the oven, if you cut it immediately, the Brie is gonna like run out because now we have liquid inside. If you let it set, I would let it set for, I don't know, 15 minutes. Just so what's gonna happen then is the Brie is gonna sit back, or it's gonna shape back up, harden back up. That being said, remember in this particular one, we put fig preserves, yum. So what has happened is our fig preserves and our melty Brie has kind of married together so that when it seizes back up, it's all one flavor. Oh, so excited. All right, that being said, I'm gonna cut it and make a mess just so you can see what it looks like. You ready? Here we go. I want you to look. So here's what this plate is very hot. 400-degree oven is very hot. Okay, here we go. You ready? I'm gonna cut a big piece. All right, here we go. Oh. Yum. Sure. Oh, yum. I'm hungry and excited. All right. Did I get all the way through? I just want to make sure. All right, let me get my spatula. I have my little house plate. Isn't that pretty? Here's my little house plate. Oh, look at that. Look at that melty brie. Are you looking? Can you see the fig preserves all the way around it? That is a yummy thing. All right, I'm gonna lift this up just so you can see. See the yummy coming out of there? So good. Your family is going to love this. Palate-pleasing flavors. Lots of peas today, right? This is so good. If you wait for this to harden up, you can pick it up and just eat it like a piece of pie. But I'm gonna cut off a piece. It's going to be so hot. Oh my. Oh, the cheese and the fig. The other one had orange marmalade. Through your lips and over your gums, look out stomach. Here comes the yumminess. That's right, Joanne. All right, look at that. Yum. Ah. Now, here's the great thing about this. You can sit and eat this just like this. But if you're gonna serve it, it is so lovely with a Granny Smith apple. The green apples, the Granny Smith apples are tart. They're not sweet. And so you take a bite of the brie and the fig and the pastry, and then you take a bite of the crunch of the tart green Granny Smith apple. Oh my, life-changing. Well, folks, that would be our show for today. I hope you had some new ideas for your Thanksgiving menu. I hope you try some of them, even if it's not Thanksgiving. And so we will see you on Saturday. List. You guys have an awesome day. From my kitchen to yours, may it be filled with some yummy, creamy taste in your life. You guys have an awesome day. I'll see you on Saturday. Bye.